Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. All right. Sorry about that last video, History of England Part 6. Terrible static noise on the mic. I'm going to be doing Part 7 pretty soon, probably today. All right. Who's in charge of Britain? Jay Foreman. So these are the Map Men. I love these guys. I don't know how I didn't find them before. They have a certain way about them that is just likable, I guess. And I really love their channel and everything. So, who's in charge of Britain? Old Blighty. Okay, let's go. Right? Isn't that what you call it? Okay, let's. I embarrassed myself. Okay, let's go. If you're new to the channel, hello, my name is Connor. I like to learn about history through YouTube recommendations. The original link to the video is at the top of the description below. Right below that is Discord. I'd love for you to click on that. Go right over there. Join the party. Join the family. Pull up the chair. Love to have you. More the merrier. Let's go. We have bots over there. Robots. It's pretty cool. I didn't even know that was possible. His name's Carl, or one of them. I don't know. I don't... All that technical stuff on Discord, I don't know, but some people, the mods, know what they're doing. Okay. Who's in charge of Britain? Let's go. Hope you're all doing well. I really do mean that. If you're not, that sucks. But you'll be good soon. Emotions are fickle. If you are good, well, good for you.
The Prime Minister, isn't it? The one we voted for? Who's in charge of Britain?
America. Sorry. Okay. These are all jokes.
Well, it's the Prime Minister, isn't it? The one we voted for?
I just got so many dislikes.
No, he isn't. Not only is the Prime Minister not in charge of Britain, but we didn't even vote for him. The Prime Minister is officially just an advisor to the real head honcho. Me! Yes, an old lady lucky enough to be descended from a family with the most violent army is our head of state. It's officially her country and her laws. Except you know that's not really how it works. Our parliament is a baffling thousands of years old institution that's been around for hundreds of years. And it's changed so much that the word officially means diddly squat.
I just want to say because America has such a short history, and from me being I'm from New England, named after England. Great start to the video today. I do consider, and my ancestors from British Isles and a little from France. I do, pre-1776, I do see British history as my own, and so I feel like I'm learning about my own history
for
doing
hundreds
this.
Of years, and it's changed so much that the word officially means diddly squat. So how is the country actually run? What does the Prime Minister do? Who does the government? Why am there backbenchers? Government how Home Secretary there is. Parliamentary where cabinet reshuffle opposition right honourable what?
Is he talking like Yoda?
Britain is a democracy, which means we, the people, decide how the country is run.
But instead of squeezing 64 million people into the House of Commons, we have 650 people representing all of us.
Republic.
How are they choosed?
The country has been carefully divided into 650 constituencies, each one containing roughly 70,000 voters.
Every 5 years, there's a general election. We put an X next to the person we like best, then
There's 70,000 people, even in the London area, in every one of those things.
Every 5 years, there's a general election. We put an X next to the person we like best, then the person with the most votes becomes our constituency's Member of Parliament, or MP.
Now, even though technically anyone can
choose a general election, we put an X next to the person with
70,000 voters.
Every 5 years, there's a general election. We put an X next to the person we like best, then the person with the most votes becomes our constituency's Member of Parliament, or
You have
MP.
a second choice?
Now, even though technically anyone can put themselves up for election, and they often do, they're almost always a member of a political party. But what is a political party?
Broadly speaking, it's a group of people that all feel the same way about how the country should be run. They have a party headquarters and a logo and a favourite colour. If you're a member of one of these parties, you're much more likely to get voted for because people know what you stand for.
So is it like, I know nothing's a perfect comparison, but is it like Labour is like the Democrats of the U.S. and what's the other? Is it conservative? What's the other side? The other side is like the Republicans. I know it's not that simple.
And political parties have got money to help with posters and leaflets and things. There's nothing in the rulebook that says there needs to be such thing as political parties. They've just naturally come about. In theory, you could have a parliament made up entirely of independent partyless MPs. It's just never happened, and they probably wouldn't agree on anything.
So that's how the House of Commons gets its 650 MPs. And now this is where she comes in. The Queen politely asks one of the MPs to be her Prime Minister. This is a tradition that dates back to the years of King George I, who needed an advisor to help run the country because he only spoke German. Officially, the Queen can pick whomever she likes, but so run the country because he only spoke...
Doesn't ich bin mean like I am? Sorry.
German. Officially, the Queen can pick whomever she likes, but so far she's always gone for the leader of the party with the most MPs. The Prime Minister then chooses a crack team of his best friends to form the government, a small group of people who do the actual day-to-day running of Britain, as in coming up with new laws and deciding where to spend our money and deciding how to get our money, etc., etc. The Prime Minister's job is to decide who does what, swap them around every so often, and give them a massive f***ing if they f*** up. But the government can't do whatever it likes. It has to be kept in check and challenged on every decision it makes. That's mainly the job of the party that came second in the general election. They're called... But the government can't do whatever it likes. It has to be kept in check and challenged on every decision it makes. That's mainly the job of the party that came second in the general election. They're called the opposition. They pretend they've got government jobs and show you what they would have done if they'd won instead.
Again, there's nothing in the rulebook about it.
I mean, I don't think that's that... I don't know if it was supposed to come off as a joke, but I don't think that's that bad of an idea. Just having on the record what your policies would have been.
Jobs and show you what they would have done if they'd won instead.
Again, there's nothing in the rulebook about any opposition. In fact, the opposition wasn't mentioned in law at all until 1937, when they had to agree how much the leader of the opposition should be paid. So what about the rest of the MPs who don't get a job either in the government...
Who's the guy, I want this job so bad? ORDAAAA! 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 Oh god, no, I gotta find the guy. God, I'm sorry. Order guy. I just made myself look like such an idiot.
Order. Unlock. Order, the order.
They're not all the same to me. I love the order. Oh, that's so great.
Support politics.
Sorry. Okay.
Or the shadow cabinet. They've still got a very... About the rest of the MPs who don't get a job either in the government or the shadow cabinet. They've still got a very important job to do. They're called backbenchers because they sit on the back benches, which are at the back and are benches.
It's their job to represent us, the ordinary folk, in Parliament. And they do this by voting on things.
Every time someone comes up with a potential new law, known as a bill, our MPs argue about it for ages and ages and then decide aye or no in a vote.
The ayes to the right. 400.
They use the word aye instead of yes because they're pillocks.
In theory, the MPs decide for themselves how to vote, but the slightly depressing news is
bullocks a technical term, or is that an insult? Like bullocks?
In theory, the MPs decide for themselves how to vote, but the slightly depressing news is they're normally told how to vote by the leader of their party.
Party
Just like over here.
leaders employ people literally called whips, whose job it is to go around making threats and promises so that MPs vote as they're told.
Just like
It's
in
the
America.
only way you can get more than half of the room to vote the
Can I just say the only thing so you guys can be so touchy, all right? No, I mean politics touchy area. I'm no master of politics. No master of really anything, but these are my thoughts. I'm not trying to say this is what happens in America and it's better blah, blah, blah. But what I don't like about what seems to be the process here is, so I get you, anyone can, do you have to be British? Like, do you have to be born in Great Britain in order to be a prime minister or an MP? You know, run. So everyone every 5 years goes and votes for who they want to be one of the people who the Queen can then choose to be the prime minister. That's what I don't like it. Maybe just be, I'm not saying it's wrong. I shouldn't have to defend myself so much. It's just, I know I'm going to get torn apart. America, look at Afghanistan. I get it. All right. Jeez. But I don't like how the Queen can choose, even though the Queen seems like a very nice lady and rational person. That's the thing about a dictatorship or whatever. Not this isn't a dictatorship, but like if it was back to pure monarchy or whatever, is that in a dictatorship or a monarchy where it's pure monarchy, yeah, it might be the best option if you can guarantee that every single time the person with all that power is going to be looking out for the best interest and is the best. That's why I think I'd rather have a stupid guy elected by everyone than a smart guy elected by just a few people. Does that make sense? I know the outcome might not be the best. I just think that the former option is more safe against a really bad guy getting a lot of power. It also makes for a lot of deadlock, and the latter. But anyways, I just don't like how. So like you really in Great Britain or England, you can't vote for your prime minister. You can't vote. A lot of you are going to say like, no, we can vote who gets to be one of the people to be picked as a prime minister, which means you technically don't really. But it's like a republic. All the hate come in, I can take it.
Same way. It may seem like an insult to democracy, but more than half of the room to vote the same way, so that MPs vote as they're told. It's the only way you can get more than half of the room to vote the same way. It may seem like an insult to democracy, but actually that's pretty hard to justify.
I like how much tradition, is kept, like the wigs and all, they're very formal. When they get to all the yelling, maybe not, but I like how Britain hangs on to a lot of its tradition.
So there a story.
Even if it might seem silly or useless, I
get
think
sent
that's
back and
important.
forth like an onion between the two houses until ultimately one person gets the final say on what becomes a law. Oh, go on then.
The Queen
Isn't that
does?
insane that we actually live in a monarchy? It's 2000 and something, not 13 something.
You read my mind.
Gradually over time, the Queen's role has become more and more ceremonial, and she does more and more nothing. Her power.
Rip Prince Philip. Christ. I don't have underwear on. Or pants, as you guys would say. But Prince Philip.
Over time, the Queen's role has become more and more ceremonial, and she does more and more nothing. Her powers still exist, and in theory, the Queen could veto any law she doesn't like.
But she knows full well that if she tries to exercise any of her theoretical power and defy the MPs
Precedent?
that we the people
Is that
voted
a
for,
precedent?
there'll be an instant revolution and will set her palace on fire.
Damn right.
It's easy to forget all of this. When there's an election on, the media make it feel like you're choosing a prime minister. But you're not. And you're not choosing a party either. You're choosing a person, your local MP, who just happens to be a member of a party, who just happens to have a party leader. So who's in charge of Britain? In an official sense, her. In a technical sense, him. In a practical sense, them. In an idealistic sense, us. But the real answer? Dunno.
Same here, honestly. Yeah, you get to vote for president and everything, but anything that he promises is... Honestly, in American elections, I think, maybe just in my eyes, but it's more important to say what you won't do than what you will do. Because whatever a candidate says they will do, 99% of anything they say they won't be able to actually do because of gridlock in Congress. But when they say what they won't do, then hey, okay, that's if you're going to assure that. But in a lot of things, you know, in a pure democracy, you can't just have a pure democracy. That'd be ridiculous. That would be meaning in every single matter, local, state, federal, you vote on it. I mean, that's insane. That would not work. That's impractical. So, although a lot of the things might seem silly and easy for corruption, it's the best we got. You know, vote for people whose job it is to know the material and know foreign policy and domestic policy, so that they can handle it, and you can vote them out every few years. I think I got the gist. Hope I didn't offend too much. I definitely did. See you guys next time.